Welcome to lesson 62, looking at triangles. Today we want to get a good understanding of how triangles work. And so when it comes to triangles, we can name triangles or classify, maybe that's a better word, classify triangles in a couple of different ways. So first way we can do it is by what are known as their sides. And so we have some different definitions here that we want to make sure we understand. First of all, we have our equilateral triangle. Equilateral triangles, of course, means that all three sides are equal in length. And so we have an example of that. Triangle number 2 for your viewing today is what's known as an isosceles triangle. Isosceles triangles have at least two sides are equal length. And finally, but not least, we have contestant number 3, which would be a scalene triangle. All three sides are different in length. So we have these classifications of our triangles. So that's one way to classify triangles, by their sides. Another way to classify triangles is by their angles. And so angles, of course, are then the insides, and we can look at specific type of angles. Contestant number 1, if you will, is called an acute triangle. Very cute because all three angles are acute, which means that they are less than 90 degrees. Our second contestant is a little square. Maybe that joke is a bad one, but it means that you have one right angle, and then the other two angles are going to work together with that right angle. And then finally, we have our obtuse, which of course states that it has one obtuse angle. So in the end, as we look at triangles, we can talk about how triangles can be classified in two different ways. So one way, well, let's do it right here. Let's classify this triangle. It says classify triangle ABC by angles and by sides. Well, go ahead. You do it. Figure it out. What is the classification? What would we call it by its angles? What would we call it by its sides? The second principle we want to look at when it comes to triangles today is not just classifying them, but also understanding the angles within triangles. And basically, we want to know this concept, is that when you add the three angles, so we're going to call it angle 1, angle 2, angle 3. Right? When you add the three angles of a triangle together, it will always equal 180 degrees. So because we have that principle, if we know what the angles are, if their clues are given, we should be able to figure out how to find the other angles. Right? And eventually you'll get to a point where if I give you one, well, we'll save that for another day. Let's just talk about this. So let's take a look at our example here. It says 100 degrees, 35 degrees. And so as we look at this, the question would be, if this is 100 degrees and this is 35 degrees, what in the world is that? To solve this, we're going to add the two numbers we know. So we'll say angle 1 is 100 and angle 2 is 35. And we're looking for angle 3. But we know altogether they're going to equal 180. So in the end, we're going to have this problem. Angle 3 equals 180 minus 135. Where did 135 come from? I added these two numbers together and I put it over here. And so when I take 180 minus 135, I get an answer of, you were drumming on your desk, weren't you? A little drum roll. Thank you very much. All right. But we're going to come away with an answer of 45 degrees. Because 45 plus 135 equals 180. Then here's one last sample problem to get you on your way as you think about this question. Go ahead and work through this and come ready with your questions about triangles in class. Great.